All right. Good evening, everyone. Sorry about last week. We missed the live stream. We had a internet outage here that did not get resolved in time to do the live streams. I am sorry about that. I missed it. It was real downer. Kind of messed up my week, if you want my opinion. But we are back this week, and everything's going to be fine and dandy. Everything's up and running again. Jade, good to see you. Shar, good to see you. And Anthony, good to see you as well, my man. Let's see. Can I make that? Yeah, that's got it. All right. I figured out that emoji problem. All right. So this has been a very, very, very busy week for me. I was shooting some videos on the evocation course, getting some stuff up and ready. It's going to be a big editing week for me coming up. Um, but we also, me, the Working Dragon Mystic admin, especially Jade, have all gotten together and discussed a few things. And we got some amazing, and I do mean amazing, announcements for you all. So, first off, before we get into this, the Working Dragon Mystic YouTube is going nowhere. Let's make that clear. YouTube's still here. We're still going to be here on YouTube. We're still going to be doing Magic Coffee Hour. All that's staying. What we are doing, however, is I have been constantly asked by viewers to consider starting putting my content on Rumble. We are going to do that. We've already actually set it up. Some of you have actually already found Working Dragon Mystic and the content that we've been uploading and stuff over there. So thank you for supporting us over there if you do use Rumble. So that's going to be a second place you can find our content. We are reworking the workingdragonmystic.com to include a one-stop shop for everything Working Dragon Mystic. Jade, yes, thank you very much. There is the page for our Rumble, so you can check it out if you use Rumble, or if you just want to check it out. Maybe you want to start looking over there. And let's see. Let's say hello to some people before we go into the next one. Luna Fang, good to see you. Maria, good to see you. Karma, good to see you. Go Diego, welcome back. Loveless, hey, been a while. Glad you can make it. Vicky, welcome back. The next one, I've been asked a lot about finding a way to integrate and work more directly with the community and to give more options to the community. And we think we found that because one of the things that has been recommended to do this for us was several different websites, and we looked into one and we found one we do like and we're wanting to do it, and that's going to be the Working Dragon Mystic locals page. Now, this is going to give us the ability to do content we've not been able to do due to the restrictions and everything we have to follow on YouTube. YouTube is a great platform for reaching lots of people and getting a lot of the basics. Many of you have questions and stuff and want us to cover topics we can't cover here. So this is going to give us that ability to do that. Also, it does have a public side as well as a supporter side. So any of those of you who are YouTube members or Patreon members, since Patreon and YouTube has not been sending out notification and has removed a few posts mistakenly or whatnot, I'm not going to accuse, but since it is causing that communication issue, we're going to start moving most of our support, if not all of our support content, that direction. What this means is, since it doesn't have tier 1, 2, or 3, all 3 tiers, all the perks are going to be rolled into one thing over there. Okay, so it's going to be great. We're also already planning a lot of stuff. And when I mean a lot, I mean a lot. There's already content over there. So there's going to be public content for just general members, but there's going to be supporter only content. And best of all, if there's content that's supporter only, but you're a member, you do have the ability to see the title so that if there's a topic you're interested in, you can still, I think some of it you can one-time support or some of it you can just do a monthly support. But another thing we're going to be doing supporter only live classes monthly over there. Me and Jade are both going to get in and do live workshops that are free to all Working Dragon Mystic supporters. All you have to do is show up and attend the workshop, and they will be recorded and posted. So they'll be available for 2 weeks after we go live with the workshop. So if you're a supporter and you're at work, we all do the grind. So if you missed it due to work, you can still pop in and watch it. And again, this is a supporter thing. All supporters will get it. Some of you might be wondering, especially you tier 3 folk, what is the supporter charge since it's all getting wrapped into one? Since it's all getting wrapped into one, we're balancing it all out, and it comes straight to the middle at $10. But you get all the tier 3, tier 2, and tier 1 perks all wrapped into the one. So tier 3 supporters, which ironically, you guys really are the bulk of my supporters, and I always will thank you for that. You're going to be saving some money with this and getting a lot more content. This is a bit of a project. Luckily, Jade and the admin are helping me out with this. So this is not something that's going to be overwhelming to me. And best of all, Locals allows me to have the admin actually take part in the community. So unlike the YouTube one or Patreon where it's just me trying to juggle everything, the admin are there to help. So this is going to let us do a lot more and grow this community and cover topics we cannot, which for those of you who join Locals and are supporters, feel free to shoot us topics that you would love to see us talk about, and we will put them into consideration for sure. We're always wanting to talk about the things you all want to talk about. And, you know, we got to be polite and filtered here on YouTube, which is fine. It is fine because, like I said, that's what YouTube is. That's what it's set up for. And I really didn't expect so many people to be interested in so many topics, but you know what? We're just going to open it up and do as much more as we can. And we're going to see what happens, because I think this is a really great way to help more people, reach more people, and to honestly become more supported by the viewers and everything directly, and less having to worry about, is this video monetized? Is this video going to get demonetized? All that crap. That way we're just free to go. Those kinds of things. Do I have Discord? If not, maybe you could get, actually we had a Discord for a while and Discord chose to delete us. Weirdly enough, we had a wonderful, very active Discord that got deleted. We do currently have a Gilded, and the Gilded will still be up. It will still be running. It will still be functional. We will still be using it. But as far as a lot of the posts and uploads and stuff, you're going to see a lot more of that stuff going through Locals, because it just has a better management system. And honestly, we've been getting a lot of people saying they don't like the way Gilded's interface is set up for post and getting information. So we're just trying to give options. And then when it comes to support, there's a lot of people who don't like going through YouTube or Patreon for different reasons and setups. And they've told me they would like Locals because it has a, how do I explain this? Because, okay, we're getting into internet terms. Y'all know I'm a little wonky here, but they have what they call coins. And you can basically go through PayPal or a secure type private pay where you can purchase the coins and then use the coins as a transaction to keep yourself separated from, I guess, the sites you're supporting for extra security and privacy, which is something people a lot of today are really about and liking. So Locals already has it integrated and allows us to now offer that, which is something you guys have been asking for. And I kept that in mind when we were looking for this community in order to do that. So it has been crazy busy because we've been doing that. We have been working on the evocation course. Jade just recently had a kitchen witchery workshop this weekend. So there was that. And then Jade's been releasing some great herbal videos, both on Rumble and Locals. And Rumble will have content like public content that we may not be able to upload specifically to YouTube, because YouTube policy changes are getting a little fuzzy on certain things dealing with health and wellness that is pretty common to discuss within the metaphysical community. But at the same time, you know, we kind of have to balance that, what is allowed and not on YouTube. So instead of just saying we're not going to do this content because YouTube's taking a stance over here, we're like, you know what? We got a platform, we have a medium, and we're going to use it to make sure you guys get all the stuff that you all um, want and have been asking for. And also, I'm more likely to talk about the thing you can't. You tell me if you say I can't say it, I'm more likely to say it. Let's be honest. That's just the kind of jerk, sarcastic person I am. I don't know. But yeah, I wanted to let you all know. So if you are already a supporter, consider checking us out over on Locals, because again, Patreon and YouTube have not been letting me post all my posts. Just like tier 2 and tier 3 supporters right now, they get spell working monthly. I don't know what happened to my post about the October spell working that went up 7 days ago. I'm finding out no one saw it. It's not there. And I had to post about it today, which is October 1st. So instead of being able to do the spell working tomorrow, which is normally what I do, I'm pushing it back to the 4th so everyone has time to see it, because I've checked, I'm watching it, people are seeing it this time. That's annoying to me. I'm busy. I can't be making the same post 12 times on a platform. So, yeah. So for those who are wondering where that post was sooner, I apologize. I tried. It just did what it did, and I've been trying to do more. So bear with us as we get this all set up. But the Locals page is up and running. It is ready to go. Jump on there. It's already got some great supporter-only content, and we got a lot more coming in the very near future. So we didn't want to announce it until we had it up and running, and that's why we're talking about it now. Many of my members and supporters already know. You got the early announcements about it. Some of you have already jumped in there. Thank you very much. Mugs up. So there you go. We've been busy little beavers over here. Let's see what we got. Let's see. Immortal, it's their loss. We are a kick-ass group of people. I believe you are. I really do think you guys are a great group of people and a wonderful community. That's why focusing on the community is so important to me, because just during these live streams, I see how much you all are willing to help each other out in the Gilded. I see how much you all are willing to help each other out. And it's very important to me that we come up with a platform where we can really grow and build that community that really cares about self-empowerment, self-mastery, and just personal growth in the best way that we can. That's kind of my whole thing. Kuan Yin, welcome. So yeah, busy, but it has been a very, very blessed week in my opinion. It has been amazing. So that's got that. Angela, blessing and coffee. Always good to see you. Blessings and coffee back to you. Manifest your favorite fall treats. Let's see, Lynn. I remember you having a Facebook as well. Don't know if you actually they locked me out of it, Luna. I did have a Facebook group. They locked it. They weren't letting me post. They weren't letting me approve members. They just. I don't know what's going on here. I don't want to go down a conspiracy hole, just so y'all know. You know, we don't talk about politics and stuff on here, but it's one of those things. I don't know if it was a malfunction. I've tried to email them and contact them. The communication has been spotty at best, but never got resolved. It's been a crapshoot. It really has. And that's one reason, like, we've put so much into the Gilded, even though, like, the Gilded could be a little bit more refined. But by and large, they've given us a platform to be able to have a community and have discussions and everything. But they're limited tools. It's like, okay. So we're kind of wanting to work the Gilded live chat room communication with the locals and get the best of everything at once. I think that's going to be a great way to do it. And it gives me a place where I can easily go to locals, gives my supporters and members a one-stop shop for Working Dragon Mystic, which if you go to workingdragonmystic.com right now, you're actually going to see that the Working Dragon Mystic community tab is there. You click that, it will send you straight to the locals page. You'll see the online school tab. It'll send you to the online school. You will see a YouTube tab. It'll send you to the YouTube channel. You'll see the merch. It'll send you to the merch. We are putting everything in one place to make it easier for you all to find and locate it. I don't think I have a Rumble tab on there yet. I probably should go ahead and put that on there. And if I don't have it, I will make that a priority to get added, because some people want an easy website to just get to. And that's why we have workingdragonmystic.com, ain't it? So all those tabs are going to be cleaned up and added. But again, Jade, if you can link all the links we've just talked about for the Rumble and the locals, that would be, and the Gilded, that'd be great. Also, I know you linked them earlier, and thank you for that. So it's been a frustrating thing. I'm trying to do the best as a, I guess you call me a content creator, that I can for somebody who doesn't do computers. So thank you all for your support. Mugs up. Oh, and the evocation course is looking better and better. I do think I'm still on goal to have it done this year. Although I will say, once this one's done, I'm taking a break from filming courses. I'm going to take at least a week, 2 weeks or a month off, and then jump back into the next one. All right. Let's see. All right. Don't say the thing equal guaranteed to trigger exactly that. I'm a Gen Xer. It's like, don't do this. Did you just tell me not to push the button? I'm pushing the button. It's just, I'm a rebel. I don't always make smart decisions, but I don't necessarily regret my decisions either. Also, I applied for a business grant. Would you recommend me working with Xboon Well on successfully getting approved? The creator. Yes, actually, Xboon Well would be a great entity to work with for getting that pushed through. I definitely encourage you to reach out to Xboon Well for that one. That's a great idea. That is. And creator, if you are a community supporter, message me on Gilded directly. Let me know what your name is on the community. That way, if you want for your monthly spell working on tier 2 or tier 3, if that's where you're at, or if you're just over at locals, either one, I can focus your spell working on that as well. So that'd be great. And just the Maria. Okay, you're talking to Maria. Awesome. Then we got Scooby. Hey, welcome, Scooby. Greetings, people. Hey, Bornoldus. Glad you can make it, my man. Good to see you. Technology's crazy. That's what. Well, I'm glad it's not just me. I really am. It's frustrating, but I love you guys, so it's a labor of love. Don't worry about it. I will fight and do whatever I can. Scooby Gilded locked me out. I need to get back into it. That is weird. That is weird. I tell you, these sites sometimes, man, they tricky. Like, I honestly considered going back to Discord, and but the problem is, I actually emailed them over 100 times, and they would never give us a reason why we was even deleted. So it seemed reckless to start up a new Discord server for Working Dragon Mystic, get it all going again, and just to have it deleted with no warnings, no rhyme, no reason. So once they decided we weren't even worth the time of day to communicate what happened, honestly, I quit using them altogether, because if that's the way they do business, it's not for me. Gilded's been buggy, but at least they'll communicate. You know what I mean? Lunafang, social media, gotta love it. Sarcasm intended. It's an interesting thing, because even for an old guy like me, social media is kind of love-hate relationship, because I do love the way it allows me to stay in contact with friends and family, be able to shoot a message to them or whatnot, and then be able to see it at their leisure and message back, keeps you in touch. On the other hand, there are a lot of ways it seems to have gotten out of hand. And like, one of the things that always kills me, and I know this may sound old to me, and I'm sorry if it does, but like, if I go out to a nice restaurant, or hell, even McDonald's, and I see families that are just flipping their phone, they're like sitting around together and everyone's on their phone doing this. No one is talking. No one's looking at each other. No one's interacting. There's no actual connection, that kills me. I can tell you right now, if you invite me somewhere and we're sitting down and all you are is on your phone and you're not having a conversation, you're not interacting, odds are when you do look up, I won't be there. So it's a love-hate relationship. It really is. Let's see. There's literally a children's book called "Don't Push the Button" that one of the parents at a daycare I worked at brought for me. Huh? That might be interesting. I ain't got kids. I mean, I have like goddaughters, but I don't have like my own kids directly. So I can't really. I don't comment too much about child rearing. I have my opinions, but again, if you're not chasing them 24/7, I usually leave that stuff to Jade. She already chases heathens around enough. Um, let's see. Scooby, sometimes spite is worth the consequences. You know what? I agree with that comment. I really do. Actually, I think my wife agrees with that comment so many times. It's just one of those things. It's who I am. Once you cross me the wrong way or something, sometimes it's just you're never going to get back in my good graces. But then again, spite can just be fun, also. So yeah, you got to do what you got to do, and you got to be who you are. We talk about that on this channel all the time. When it talks about self-empowerment and self-mastery, it all starts at self, you don't it? You have to figure out who you are. You got to figure out what you stand for. You got to figure out what you believe, completely disconnected, completely separated from all opinions around you. And no matter how things look in life, no matter where it gets, if you truly believe that, if that's truly who you are, even if you stand alone, you're going to still stand for what you stand for. And that's hard. That is a hard place to get to for a lot of people. But that's where we've got to try and get to. Weirdly, it's when the people get there, that's the people who tend to be, other people tend to be drawn to them more because they just have this air of self-assurance and confidence that it's not egotistical or overconfidence in a manner that is off-putting. They seriously have it and you can sense it, if that makes sense. 2, 3, but for some reason. Let's see, creator on tier 3. Yeah, it's not showing up on your thing, mate. That is odd. Creator, if you will, just message me on Gilded directly, or well, it's actually the creator's your YouTube name, so I can actually look that up after stream for you. And I'll go ahead and get that done if you don't mind. Don't even use Facebook. Oh my God, I don't remember the last time I was on Facebook. Okay. I may not use it. I have a personal page where I used to post sarcastic quotes, dark humor, and coffee memes. I don't even think I use that anymore. How long should I be working with my guardian and Comag until I reach out to the rulers themselves? Is there anything specific I'm supposed to do? Because so far the dragons haven't said anything. If you're working in the Dragon Magic 101, that the outline there, I want to say says 2 to 4 weeks, as well as gives you individual exercises that you are to complete before you move on. And you need to be focused specifically on building those friendships and relationships and getting to know them very focusedly and getting comfortable with them the same way you would get comfortable with a friend. That's what you're looking for before you move on, which is usually 2 to 4 weeks of active working. If you're soloing it without Dragon Magic 101, it's a little harder because I don't know the exact things that you've been doing. Because I don't know the format of your individual practice. And do I need to reach out to the rulers at all, or can I work with the two of them? Honestly, that question's actually an interesting question because technically in Dragon Magic, if all you want to do is work with your guardian and your co, you could do it. There's magicians out there who would say you're missing out on 90 to 98% of what Dragon Magic can offer. And that is, from a point of view, a true statement. But you ask, do you have to? No. If what you want in your life and your practice is good right here, if this is the only thing you have that's going to help you master you and be happy, there you go. That's you. Um, that is a doable pursuit if that is what you are wanting. Um, and that would be a question for you. Some like me, I'm just always wanting to push further, learn more, and that's me. But that's not everyone. So you have to figure out, Vicky, which is the right step and path for you. Um, but when you find it, own it, be proud of it, and do the best you can to be the best you can. I won't tell you to do more than that. Scooby, I got back into the gilded. Ha! Welcome back, Scooby. Glad you could make it. Where are we? Let's see. We got 25 people in here. You guys really did miss me, didn't you? If you can, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. We got 25 people and only 10 thumbs. Come on, people. I need more thumbs. Believe me, I need a lot of thumbs. I drop stuff all the time. Come on. Thumbs up for the crazy redneck dragon guy. Loveless, better living through spite. To be honest, spite is pretty much why I'm still, yeah. Honestly, there's a lot of things in life I'd say spite probably motivated me on because somebody told me I couldn't do something, and I'd be like, really, watch this, and I would hit it hard, and I would seek to achieve what I was told I couldn't, just out of spite. And I actually have a few mentors who figured out I would do this out of spite, so they would purposely tell me I couldn't do something to trigger that to kick in, which that's kind of underhanded, but I appreciate it. They did what was needed to be done. So, oh, we jumped. Go Diego, go Drake. In the next 10 or 20 years, do you think magic will ever be accepted by society and people don't have to hide that they practice magic with atheism growing? Do you think we will see it in our lifetime? I don't currently know where you live, Go Diego, go, but I can tell you at least here in America, um, I don't hide what I do. I never have. Whether I was in the Bible Belt or whatever, I've never had to hide it. I've never had an issue with it. I know a lot of people feel they have to, but it's honestly something they're more putting upon themselves because I honestly have not walked into a community or anywhere thing in America where I've had to hide it, even deep south, super religious belting. Um, I'm very public with who I am and what I do. Um, I will wear any of my necklaces or pendants wide open. I got plenty of tattoos to show what I do. Um, it's just who I am, and I don't hide it. I don't put a filter on for no one at any point or time. It's just that simple. I will always keep the discussion respectful. I do think that is one of the things that is needed to be done because there's a lot of practitioners and pagans who they're out for a fight. If you don't agree with them or you have a different opinion, they're ready to pick a fight. And they will go in completely disrespectfully from the get go. And that just sets a bad precedent from the get go. And you see this from different religions, that's for sure. However, in my lifetime, I've seen us go from satanic panic to all kinds of different varieties and flavors. And I have lived to the point where, especially from just 20 years ago, the amount of acceptance is through the roof. So here in America, I would say it's already accepted. Here's the thing, though. You ask if magic's going to be accepted. When you're speaking with an atheist, you're talking about their views and their beliefs. Well, you got to understand magic and view it from their view and belief. In a lot of ways, people view me as an atheist. I don't personally, but some people do because I stick to the science and the data. I do nothing based on faith. Um, but you have to understand that some people, um, and atheists are some of them, they have their view of the world and they're welcome to it. And their view doesn't change your view either. You're welcome to that as well. And the atheists give every religion or spiritual ideal or belief the same treatment, which is kind of nice. They treat us all equally, regardless of how crazy we are, or not. But honestly, from my viewpoint, I see it as being very, very accepted as any other view. Um, in fact, atheists catch as much shit as spiritualists, really, because there's so many people constantly spouting and putting down atheists. How can you be so stupid as to not believe in something like magic or a higher power? So there is a natural organized balance that is there. There's a acceptance, but there is also a pushback, and that pushback is a necessity. Okay, you're never going to get rid of the pushback completely because it's a necessity. If you don't have a pushback, if you don't have something to challenge your thought, if you don't have something to make you think, you're never going to grow as a person. If a practitioner doesn't have a pushback against their own practice and their own belief, they're just going to be in an echo chamber and they're not going to grow and they're actually potentially going to degrade. So the pushback, the reason it's all over from all segments, there is no area where you're not going to find pushback, is because it's a necessity. And there is a nice balance of it, at least in America. Now, that said, I've seen the news, I've read the paper. There's plenty of places across the world where it's not just a basic pushback of opinion. That does need to change. Will we see those more drastic areas change in our lifetimes? Probably not in mine. I don't know your age, but probably not in mine. I would love to see it in ours, but I don't know if we will see it in my lifetime. If you're younger than me, let's say you're in your mid 20s or whatnot, I hope you will see it in your lifetime. I think it's possible, but it also depends on the direction humanity takes. And the without breaking my own rules about politics and all that stuff, the best I can say is there are things happening, regardless of who you are, where you stand in your views, that make it seem less likely we'll see it in our lifetime for me at this point. Um, but I always remain hopeful for a better tomorrow. I know that was a long, convoluted as hell answer on your question, but that was a great question, so I think it deserved it. Uh, so I don't know how it happened. Yeah, that's it. Just be you. Just be you. Like, I actually have people that are really close to me, and they're like, "You're gonna say something one day that's gonna piss me off and lose all respect for you." And I'm like, "Okay." And they're like, "Wait, what?" I'm like, "Who I am as an individual changes nada the moment you don't give a crap about me. What you think of me doesn't change me. It may change the relationship you and I have with each other, but it doesn't change me. And I'm not going to stop being true to me just to make you happy, because then I'm not going to be able to sleep at night because I don't like who I am in the mirror. I'd rather like who I am in the mirror and be eternally by myself than to ever um, deny being who I am to make someone else happy. So, yeah, I agree with you on that one, Loveless. Um, let's see. Always at the worst times. Huh? Oh, did an ad pop up? That's another thing. They're reworking the whole ad scheme here on YouTube, so there's a lot, and I've been told that there's a lot more ads popping up during live streams. So we are trying to find ways and workarounds to, again, the locals community. We're working on getting completely ad-free live streams. So join us at locals, become a supporter, keep this crazy old mage on the internet. Um, on the other hand, I have to thank YouTube for their ad changes, because there's a lot of people who have been supporting us that told me that, they're supporting us in order to get us to an ad-free content. So it's like, in a way, YouTube's kind of helping me along there, and they don't know it. I'm going to reach out to YouTube on the matter, because it's weird, and I see where they took it out of my account. That is odd. That is odd. They may have took the tags off of the live streams. I wonder. Yeah, I'm going to have to look into that myself, mate. Let's see. Where U.S. locations. I lived in Western Washington, Fort Worth, Texas, a bit of Southern Boston. I've always been open and never had an issue. Yep. I've been in and out of Texas. I've been over Washington. I've been actually to 48 states. The only 2 states I've not spent time in is Alaska and Hawaii. However, I know people from both states, and none of them's ever had an issue. So, I mean, so that's just one of those things. Here's an idea. Maybe you could get a P.O. box and you do a video about it. It's a busy chat. Yeah, it is a busy chat tonight, but that's a good thing. Danny Doom, hey Drake, how was your summer? It was actually good. It was good. After we did that big old giant move, we're in a slightly different climate. The humidity's a little easier on me. So I was able to get out and cause a bit more trouble, do a bit more camping. So I had a pretty good summer. Gotta say I did. Not sure I understand the P.O. box question there, Lena Hank. Because are you saying do a video about how to get a P.O. box? Let's see. These texts all into the kitchen protection magic and extra out to them. Mitch and explained what she did. Yep. Actually, interestingly enough, I got a lot of family members that did not understand magic at all. When I described kitchen magic to them, kitchen witchery, they completely freaking understood it. They're like, well, I've been doing that. My grandmother taught me this and this and this. And they're like, we just call that Appalachian folk medicine. And I said, why don't you Google that term? They Googled that term, and they realized Appalachian folk medicine and Appalachian folk magic were one and the same. And they're like, oh, that's what you do. Well, that makes sense. Most people do some form of what we call magic. They might call it something else, but they do it. And that's the thing. If you find that common ground and you keep it in that respectful vibe, you will find people have more in common than not, regardless. It's kind of cool. And that's always been one of my goals when talking to people, which is weird when you think about it, because I'm also that guy that I really love pissing people off. But when it comes to knowledge, when it comes to understanding, when it comes to building community, I really want to try and reach out and reach a point of understanding. It's almost like a challenge to me. It's like, I'm going to find a way to understand you. But then you got people who are just spiteful for spite's sake. Love pissing them off. That's my jam. Which is weird because, yeah, it seems like a contradiction of personalities to me, but it works. Somehow I make it work. You can't work with any dragon without befriending them and building that relationship up, but you're also going to have to be doing some kind of work with them. Because dragon magic isn't just about being friends, it's about actually progression. And if all you're doing is saying, hi, how you doing? The rulers are going to be like, hi, what are you doing to better yourself today? How are we going to better you? What are we doing today to progress? And if you're just like, no, I just want to say hi and maybe have a Coke. you're going to find they answer less and less. Because as important as the friendship is, they don't even want that friendship to overshadow that growth and empowerment and self-mastery. So it's not usually a balance that's ever a problem, because most people don't want just the friendship. But also at the same time, when you're working with these rulers, there's no way to work with them without that energy just slamming into you constantly. So you're going to want to work with them so that you can handle that energy slam. But yeah, I would, if you're just going to go that route, I would say probably not the best idea. Just do your thing over there and let them do that. Yeah, that's me. Like my sisters, if they invite me to church, I'll go to church. I don't mind. I'll go. I enjoy the food. I say hi to all the gentlemen and ladies there, have some wonderful conversations. Some of them's like, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" And then I tell them, and they're like, "You what?" Weirdly, no one ever asked to pray for me. They ask me out of curiosity what I do. I tell them what I do, and that's pretty much the end of it. Bit of curiosity. I can even explain it in framework that they understand via faith and prayer and magic. And yeah, it's all groovy. Let's see. I kind of think acceptance, witchcraft also is impacted by how you present. Yeah, absolutely, Loveless. That's why I say most of the time when you actually find that conflict, it's because somebody started with a chip on their shoulder. They're looking for that conflict. Because inevitably, every time I've met anyone who didn't have that preconceived, this person's going to have an issue with me, so they could just already go in angry and automatically looking for a conflict, the conflict never happens. And that ties into how you present and conduct yourself 100%. And that's honestly one of the biggest things anyone can do when they present what they do, what they like, their hobbies, and they're sharing it. Whether it be magic, whether it be manga, whether it be anime, whether it be pipe smoking, whether it be cigars, whether it be video games, whatever your hobby is, crochet, cooking, gardening, there is a way to present it that a person's going to want to talk about what you're saying. And then there's a way to present it that people's going to be like, this guy's a nutter. How do I get away from him? And I don't care how mundane or boring your hobby may be, your presentation of it completely changes it. So you got to be mindful of those. That actually might be an interesting little series. I don't know how we could do it. I might have to think on that. I'm going to meditate on that one. Let's see. Honestly, that's how. See, Angela, Drake, have you ever noticed that on the subject of church? Sorry, Angela, I will read this correctly. Give me just a second. Get some focus juice. All right, here we go. Angela asks, on the subject of church, Drake, have you ever noticed statues in church having a vibe of their own? I've had an encounter with a Mother Mary statue as a young child. Actually, I have noticed this a lot. I really have. I've been in and out of different churches my whole life, different denomination style churches, and whether it's a particularly done mural over the baptism pool, whether it's a painting, a statue, something that is kind of a figurehead like the statues you would see of the Mother Mary, for example. I have noticed a lot of these really do have a real solid vibe to them. And I've always found it fascinating. And even as a child, I found it a little creepy because like you'd be sitting there and it's like, somebody's here. And you look around, no one's there, and you see the statue and you're like, you're just a statue. So, I mean, I even picked up it when I was a child, but now that I'm an adult and I understand entities and presence and stuff like that, I actually do agree that um, there's a vibe there. And that makes a lot of sense too. And Angela, you probably know this very well, but if you work with like an entity, and let's say you have a representation of it or a statue of it, and you work with it, that energy is naturally going to coalesce around it and imbue it and move around it constantly, whether it's intentional or not. If you're constantly, let's go with Odin. If you constantly pray to Odin and you have a representation of Odin or a statue of Odin, and that's always there when you do your daily prayers, Odin's presence and energy is going to coalesce around that, and it's going to give it a vibe because of Odin. So yes, I actually absolutely have agreed with that, and I'm sure you see that same thing with a lot of your statuary and dolls that you have in your personal practice that you've shared. I'm willing to bet you've seen that. Let's see. Let's see. Drake, what's your opinion on the John F. Kennedy exposing secret societies understandings? The jury's still out on that one for me. I'll be honest. We try to stay away from politics and stuff like that on here just a little bit, but and I know that's not necessarily a political thing. Um, and I'm not saying there aren't secret societies. I don't honestly truly believe in like the whole Illuminati world control concept. Um, but I do know that there's been plenty of secret societies through time and all that stuff. And did JFK himself actually try to throw the lid on them? And that was the problem. Truth be told, I see some I see how people can see that. As to if it holds water or has merit, that I'm unsure on. Because at least in that instance, there's a lot of things that would hold water and credibility long before that. So I'm inclined to go with Occam's razor on that one. But that might be something that I'll approach on an area where we're more free to speak about different things and topics. Because that is actually a fascinating one that has often crossed my email. Uh, but it's one I'm still meditating and pondering on. I'm not going to say I've fully reached a conclusion. At this time, it seems less likely than other options, if that makes some sense. Um, let's see here. Vitke, great answer. Love your honesty, Drake. I know exactly what you mean. My Comag does get pressed a bit when I get lazy. Usually a workaholic, so it's not a character. She pushes me to get to work, so that makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Vitke. I am a lot of things. Am I a jerk? Yes, I can be. Am I an a-hole? Most people will say I am. Some people even call me a big cuddly teddy bear. It happens, but one thing I am is brutally honest. For better or worse, that I am. You always know where I stand on stuff. And A12, man, I'll be honest with you, that question, thinking back to it, that's another reason I'm looking forward to what we're doing with like Rumble and locals, because that's the exact kind of question that could get me in trouble over here. And I have to kind of, and I actually want to have a stronger freedom to be able to answer questions just like that and give more of my thoughts on that A12. So thank you for that question. In fact, Jade, if you can make a note of that one, I may actually set up either a locals video or live stream or something like for locals or Rumble to try and cover this particular thought, theory, and question just for A12, because you know what, A12, that is a good question. It's a solid question. Um, and it's a fair question. Some people's like, well, that's conspiracy. Is it conspiracy though? I mean, how many conspiracy theories have actually proven true in history? You know? So I find it a valid question, and it's not one that should just be brushed under the conspiracy rugs. But at the same time, I need a platform to talk about it. You know what I mean? So I appreciate the question, A12, and I hope what I was able to say helped you out some. Those answers coffee milk speaker. What can I say? It's my emotional support beverage. They see potential in me, so they put yes, and that's the thing. Dragons will see that potential and they will push you. Will you answer the call? Will you rise up to the push? I don't know, but I hope you do. I hope every one of you do. I'd love to see every one of you hit that self mastery, self empowerment, and live the life of your dreams within that, whatever that is for you. I don't not wish that for anybody. The creator. I've been praying to a Mother Mary statue at a church, and it's starting to have its own vibe to it compared to other statues of Mary. I've also seen that, creator. I've seen that. It's almost like you and the particular statue almost are building up a vibe in a relationship. It's like, this is my statue. This is where I go to. Kind of like you have your spot, whether you go to the park or go to a lake. Guys, you know your fishing spot. It don't feel right. Even if you're catching them left and right, it don't feel right unless you're at your spot. You know what I mean? So that actually makes a lot of sense, creator. And that's actually a great add-on to that because if you're used to going to a particular area of worship, a particular spot in the woods for meditation, a particular area in the park to do your yoga, whatever that may be, maybe a particular gym routine. There is a vibe that develops there. And I am absolutely convinced that even when entities aren't involved, it deals with the energy that goes into it and that connection you actually build with it in your practice and your development. But I do think it goes a little more when you're dealing with entities. So, actually, a great point, creator. I'm glad you brought that up. That is a good one. GK is the WEF, World Economic Forum, a political issue. If not, can I ask your thoughts? If political, dismiss my question. Oh, that's a tricky one because for a lot of people, that really does get political and it does become a hot button on that same factor. I absolutely understand what you're saying here. And I think I can answer that to some extent. Me as an individual, okay, that's how I'm going to answer this is as an individual, GK, as an individual. When it comes to me as an individual, what I seek, what I look for is individual freedom, individual rights, individual responsibility. And if I do something stupid, I expect to pay the price for it. That's just what I want. I honestly am not a big fan of a government, much less a world government, telling me how or what I should do in my life. And some of these systems worry me. Now, am I going to go down the Illuminati route? No. Do they worry me? Yes, they give me concern. I think they should be thought about. I think they should be discussed. Should you go full blown world takeover, Skynet conspiracy? Maybe not. But I think they should be discussed. And I think I think there is a genuine reason for magicians to discuss these, even because people's like, well, that has nothing to do with the occult. That has nothing to do with metaphysics. Well, as a magician, and I've said this on this channel, you guys can go watch the videos, you can find it. I've said it. I do believe magicians and practitioners have a responsibility and a duty to their community to better it and to help it. Now, my magic, my community, I actually focus on those individual freedoms and everyone building the best life they can build for themselves and having that self sustainability for themselves in whatever measure that is for them. So, see, I'm putting that power for them, but I'm also letting them shape it to their own. I'm not making the decisions for them. And you are correct, GK, and that is one of the issues we have skirted big time on this channel. Maybe that is something I'll touch on the Rumble and the locals, though, because you got a valid point. That is something that should be discussed. I agree it should be discussed. And if you care about your community, your local community, or your state community, or in the U.S., the U.S. community, I I think magicians should pay attention to those things a bit more than some do, maybe. And that would be an interesting discussion. Maybe even do a full roundtable with some people about that. So yeah, generally we try to avoid those topics, but I think that's a fair one. And I think I answered that fairly. If I get flagged for that answer, something's seriously wrong. Because basically I just said, be respectful, discuss it, consider it, ponder it, be mindful. That's all I said. Let's see. Coffee, the magical bean potion. Okay, I thought that was going to go the wrong way. Okay, awake for life, make people easier to deal with, and grumpy people less grumpy. That's why people keep me on coffee. I get really grumpy. No, I'm just kidding. I'm grumpy with it, with or without it. Oh my gosh, you need to make a mug that says coffee, the emotional. I can do that. I can put that coffee cup on the shop. I can. I've used that. Oh my God, I've used that saying for years. I may have to do that. Let's see. GK, the vibe of a place. Oh my God. Didn't expect an answer. Thank you. No problem, guys. I try. I really do. That's one of the reasons I'm doing what I'm doing to expand the community. I really care. And I really want to grow this community. I really want to see it go someplace. And I don't want the community to disappear just because of a policy change somewhere. And then suddenly, oh, look, you said something wrong. Bye. I mean, we've seen it happen to some YouTube channels. Granted, I'm not going to say they didn't say some things down the line, but some of them, I do think some of them got wrongly terminated. But you're also on a platform where they let you use it. They let you monetize it, and it's free. So it's that balancing act of how do you argue? So yeah, if we can get 100% community funded and just break the chains and, full on Working Dragon Mystic is free to say what we want to do and how we want to do it, that will be an amazing day for us all, I think. World Community, Australia. Oh, I love me some Australia. I really do. One of my childhood heroes, you're going to laugh. Feel free to laugh. It's okay. Crocodile Dundee. Loved it. Mick Dundee. So I always had a love with Australia, even as a child. But yeah, I've never gotten to Australia. If I take a vacation, y'all know I'm a workaholic, so some of you probably just fell on your chairs laughing at the concept of me taking a vacation. But if I do, Australia is probably on my list. In the US are over $200 a year now. I know because I have the smallest kind they offer. Oh dear God, yeah, I don't know about having a PO box for that. Whew, $200 a year. Yeesh. Let's get bigger. Let's get the community bigger. Then we might be able to afford that. Send Drake artwork if he got a PO box. Oh, that's sweet. That is sweet. Lunafang, I don't know if you can, but if it's digital, you're welcome to email it. That is for sure. But yeah, PO boxes get expensive around here. I didn't know they hit that high though. Whoo, whoo, oh, the Uncle Scrooge and me just. Whoo. Angela, the second part of my question is, why do church statues in the big churches get a vibe as they aren't consciously empowering them? Are the entities? Yep, it's so okay. When let's go with the Catholic churches, or I mean, anyone ever seen Jesus over Louisville? It's like this big mega church. These churches, when you get the whole congregation in there for service, whether it be mass or just service, and let's say you want to say a prayer to baby Jesus, or you're saying a prayer to Mother Mary. When you're saying this prayer, those entities tend to answer. And the energy and the entity usually is drawn to a representation if there is one. So instead of Mary's attention coming to the back of the church looking forward, if the statue's at the front, she's going to go to where the statue is looking at the congregation. Now, if the statue's in the back, she may actually go back there and look across the congregation there. So because of this, even if they don't know they're doing it, those prayers are being sent to these entities, and the entities are answering, which is kind of why you do the thing, right? which actually I have a video on prayer coming up soon, which is pretty cool. So it's actually interesting that you guys have brought these questions up now. But since that entity is answering, since that entity's presence is there, since that energy is feeling it, and since that statue is literally a representation of that entity energy is going to have a natural connection. It's going to build, whether intentional or not, which is a really cool thing. And you see this in the laws of magic when we talk about the laws of correspondence and representations. Scooby, bureaucracy is tough. It is. It's a bitch. And Jade's throwing clocks at me. Just imagine you trying to relax on a beach saying, oh, wait, no, I have to get stuff. That happens. That literally happens. That does. Oh, Lord. It's like how Jerusalem is a crazy place energetically, from what I know, as that is where the Jewish prayers are directed. Yeah, I actually do know a lot of people who's visited the Holy Land and stuff, and we've had a lot of metaphysical or spiritual conversations about the energy and how even the different parts of the Holy Land feel different because of the different religions, and it's tangible. And I always find those fascinating conversations. I really do. Oh, shit, that'd be a great topic for a roundtable. Really, it's just you also got to keep any discussion like that respectful, or you got to find. I also would like to have someone who's actually been there come on for that roundtable, because they could give that one hand. I've not been there. I'd love to go there. I'm not gonna lie. I'd love to freaking go there. So yeah. And clocks. Jade, if you can, real quick, since we're at the stream, if you can drop those links again, just so everybody has them now that we're here at the end. I know we dropped them toward the end again. Let's drop them here at the end. So if anyone's interested, they can find us over at Locals, so they can actually take part in some of these crazy chats that we've been talking about that hopefully we can do. And find us at Rumble as well. Of course, you can always expect to find us here on YouTube doing these live streams of Magical Coffee Hour, as well as our normal Tuesday videos, people. So yeah. Let's see. What was I would have to find out, creator. I'm not sure, because I'm not seeing anything on my side. Usually I see it on my side even if it was deleted. That is spooky skeleton time, because I will find out if it was deleted by an admin or if it was a YouTube thing. Interesting. I will look into that, creator. That is odd. It's raining clocks. Yep, it is. All right, everyone, I'm going to get out of here. I got a meeting I got to get into. It has been wonderful. Again, I'm sorry for missing last week, though I will absolutely. Do I have an email link? I think there might be in the About section of the channel, but you cannot. The email is workingdragonmystic@gmail.com, all one word, all lowercase letters, because I'm lazy. So that's it. It's the name, workingdragonmystic@gmail.com. Thank you for the links, Jade. And I know this has been skipping, and I'm sorry if I missed your all's questions. Save them for next week, and I will be back next week. Hopefully, we don't avoid power outages. That was a freaky power outage and internet outage, not going to lie. But I will see you all next week. And until then, keep it up, keep improving, keep working, keep doing the best you can. If you make a mistake, get back up, dust yourself off, and keep progressing. You're always progressing and getting better as long as you don't give up. All right. Have a great week. Take care. Bye-bye.